Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is We Are Bagu Season 1, Episode 12, Red Dead Redemption, featuring We Are Error. That's right, all the guys from the We Are Podcast Network are sitting down to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. And these guys love it, minus Ethan. If this is your first time checking out We Are Podcast, please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give us a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the podcast.
We Are Bagu.
Hey everybody, welcome to We Are Bagu. This is Duck, and I'm here with
Dr. Ethan Eastwood.
Dr. Ethan E. And what is We Are Bagu? It's a video game podcast where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. And today we have the best guest we're ever going to have on the show. Sorry to everyone else. We have the crew from We Are Error. We got the Jake and the Hobbs here. So
in the house, represent,
welcome,
motherfuckers.
That's what we're talking about. We're doing this via Zoom meeting because COVID-19 is a bitch, but we've been wanting to do this topic, and we were ready to talk tonight. We just needed to have a conversation amongst our friends here. So this is the first time having you guys on this podcast, so this is super fucking exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you,
It's
Ethan.
about
Thank
damn
you, Doug.
time.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, I just want to thank Ethan and Duck for having me on the show. I know I'm probably going to be the most amazing guest you ever had.
See fucking Gene Rayburn with a tiny microphone there?
He's been doing that a lot.
So I just, hold on, let me get my. I just wanted to say,
We are here to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 primarily, but we are going to get there. We're going to do a quick little history of the games leading up to that, and we will discuss in great detail Red Dead Redemption 2 because Jake and Javi love this fucking game. How many times have you played this game, guys?
I'm currently on my playthrough number 6.
6.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a fucking 100-hour game?
For noobs, yes.
Losers, in other words.
Yeah.
Losers play that game for 100 hours.
I'm in my 7th playthrough.
Oh, boom!
Yeah.
Fuck you, Javi. That's
What was that fucking hobby? I'm not surprised.
I recently, every time it comes over, I'm fucking playing it pretty much.
Yeah,
Like,
I will say that anytime I come over to do a podcast, you're usually playing it, and then like sometimes Mortal Kombat 11, but mostly it's been Red Dead 2. So it's been,
it's heads and shoulders my favorite fucking game.
and that's
like
why
ever.
we're here. We're going to talk about that, but
Oh,
let's
yeah.
talk about quickly the history of Red Dead Redemption. It did not begin as the game that we eventually got. It began as Red Dead Revolver for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Original
Xbox OG.
Yeah, May 4th, 2004. The history of the game is kind of interesting. It actually began as a spiritual successor to Capcom's Gunsmoke. Did you guys ever play Gunsmoke for the NES based on the
Yes.
TV series?
Loved it.
Yeah.
There's an overhead shooter.
Yeah, it was an overhead shooter, kind of like Galaga, but you were on like a path and you were moving forward. Kind of
You're
like
going down a dirt road, shooting at saloons on the
Yeah.
left and right.
And it's
shit.
a fun-ass game. It's a great game.
Yeah, that
and
was
you
a
get-
highlight of going over to my cousin's house playing NES back then. Whenever I didn't have it, I only had I told you I had the Sega Master System.
Mhm.
So anytime I go over there, I get to play fucking Gunsmoke. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, and that's a
Thank you.
great game. If you ever get a chance
Yeah.
to pick it up or emulate it or whatever, I'm telling you, you got to try it. It's a fucking blast and it holds up. But Capcom actually commissioned at the time what was known as Angel Studios. What had happened was they had done a port of Resident Evil 2 for the Nintendo 64, so they had a pretty good relationship with them. And they were like, well, we kind of want to create this Western, spaghetti Western kind of game. What do you guys got? And they started the development as a spiritual successor to Gunsmoke, but eventually that fell through. And then Rockstar went and ended up buying Angel Studios and created Rockstar San Diego. And that's when they started creating Red Dead Revolver, the first game technically in the series, even though it isn't numbered that way now. That came out, like I said, PS2 and Xbox. And Jake, you said you played it a little bit back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, I had it. I remember beating it. And one of the main things about it was the Deadeye mode in it. That was like kind of...
Revolutionary, kind of.
Yeah, it was really groundbreaking, especially whenever you played with Nerd. Forget the guy's name. I forget the guy's name. He had the dual pistols. Jack Swift.
Yeah.
He played as Jack Swift. So, like, he had, 2 revolvers, but in his levels, whenever you had to play as him, you could light up, fucking 12 targets like that, and he just like it sounded like a machine gun going off. That shit was so badass.
What even did the gameplay look like for that game? Because I've only seen like some gameplay images and stuff like that.
It wasn't quite an open world. It was kind of, I mean, obviously they had a formula going with Grand Theft Auto at that time.
Yeah.
So this came out, I mean, after GTA San Andreas, I believe. I think it came out after. I'm not certain, though. I mean,
it was around that time.
Google food.
Yeah, either way. So, but the thing about it, it was kind of cartoony at the same time, you know? The physics in it, the characters, they were way over-exaggerated. They looked like something you'd see like a Brave Star. Remember that cartoon? Yeah.
So it came out about 5 months before San Andreas is what we're
okay.
Oh, wow.
Around the same time. But they already released GTA 3 and Vice City by that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And what you're looking at is, you're right, the cartoony aspect of it is actually a carryover from the development of it being a Gunsmoke spiritual successor. And that basically the only thing that stayed from that development cycle was the art style. Everything else was changed. And the thing you were talking about, the Deadeye mode, it's kind of like bullet time, correct? It slows down the game a little bit,
they really perfected it in Max Payne, I believe.
They really
you know,
did.
they took the idea from that and I think applied it to that, and then obviously it carried over to several other games and franchises.
But the gameplay for that game is similar to what we get eventually in Red Dead Redemption, just on a much smaller scale. Is that correct? Or is it
a little bit, but you switch off between a bunch of characters. Like Red Harlow is the main character, but there's like 6 or 7 different people that you play as. You even play as the main bad guy at one point.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. So that's real quick with Red Dead Revolver. You know, you said you played it. It wasn't super memorable. And that seems to be what people say about it. It was a stepping stone in the right direction. But once we get Red Dead Redemption 6 years later, that would be May 18th of 2010. That's where we see this shit just take off like gangbusters, like crazy. Because Red Dead Redemption was its own cultural phenomenon. It's the same way Grand Theft Auto was before. It was just word of mouth and people talking like, have you played this yet? Have you played this yet? Why haven't you played this? And then people played it, and that's all they could talk about. So,
well, I mean, it's GTA in the Wild West, and that's just a great premise alone there.
GTA with horses.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is.
It works so well
fucking
in
well.
this fucking environment.
There's this game called Gun.
So I always got Revolver and Gun confused with each other. I had both of them too.
But I remember I didn't like the horse mechanics in Red Dead Revolver because I think you only got to ride a horse like 3 or 4 times throughout the whole game.
Yeah, it's a lot of walking and running.
But like Gun, you could actually see that they had good motion mechanics like for horses and shit. So like I'm not surprised that Red Dead Redemption just like fucking took probably that mechanic and was like, oh fuck, let's blow this shit out the water.
Copying the homework.
Copying the homework. And I swear to God, man, riding a horse has ever been so much fun.
I never played Red Dead Redemption. You guys have. Ethan, have you played the original Red Dead?
Yeah.
So sell me on this game. I mean, I already sold. I've always wanted to play it, especially with the zombie pack with that they released later. I thought
Undead Nightmares.
But
you have it on your Xbox 360. I already loaded it up.
You're right. I should play it. 100% correct.
We just need to
but you're not going to.
I'm busy.
You ain't gonna play.
I know.
You ain't doing shit.
I mean, if I get that sweet fucking, if I get that government money, I might play it. I'll check it out. But
bro, so I'm gonna call Sam has to bribe you. And I want to be like, listen, Sophie,
you're
honey,
not getting your number.
You gotta get your man a PS4, Red Dead Redemption 2.
We know people. We have ways, Doug.
Yes.
I mean, here's the bottom line. No. So let's talk about Red Dead Redemption. Let's talk about it. Red Dead Redemption.
Right.
What is it about? I just don't. He keeps threatening to call my girlfriend. I'm getting nervous.
I don't think he's threatening you.
He's like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It was like the third time tonight. He's like,
yeah, I wish somebody would threaten me with a fucking Xbox or a fucking game or something.
He would buy it though. That's
you son of a bitch! I'm gonna go tell your girl that you need it.
Oh no!
Please no!
Call the cops.
Red Dead Redemption. What is it about this game? What is it about Red Dead Redemption?
You're in the Old West. You're a fucking cowboy by proxy. This is like the first version of Westworld for me. It's like,
this is the original Westworld
go
for sure.
into that fucking game and you're just fucking like, you're living it, man. It's awesome.
And is it that all-encompassing? Does it really engage you that much? Because I know when we get to RD2, yes.
The first one is for what it was at the time whenever it was released.
It was engaging.
It was very immersive. You could do the hunting, you could skin animals, you could do everything else. There was a lot of conversations to be had. I thought it was pretty immersive. Yeah.
And like,
y'all are gonna kill me for what I'm about to say.
What do you got?
I have
I
never
already hate what
finished.
you're about to say. I hate it already. On behalf of the VR Era crew, I hate these words that are coming out of your mouth hole right now, Ethan Eastwood. How dare you, sir?
No, come back, come back, Ethan.
We already are.
No,
Come back. Don't go.
don't tell us. Tell
I'm
us
kidding.
why do you hate it?
I don't hate it. I
You
just
said
have.
finish it.
I've never finished Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare, or Red Dead 2. They couldn't hold my attention long enough.
What?
Whoa.
Why?
Damn.
Explain why.
Red Dead 1 and 2, I'd put like 10, 15 hours into the game already, and it was the same shit every mission. Go here, shoot this dude, go back. Go here, shoot this dude, go back. And the story took forever to even move forward. I ran into the same issue with GTA 5.
You're
Literally, it
telling
was
me that
drive here,
15
kill this
hours you're already
dude.
doing missions?
What the fuck
See,
are you
I-
doing for 15 hours?
I guess that's a
15
fair
hours, you go
assessment.
exploring, you go shooting birds.
Yeah,
All right,
there's
well,
so much more than that. There's more that you can do. There's so many hidden things that you can find within the fucking game itself.
And
Like,
So
I
it's
mean,
it's a
sell
sandbox
me on
game,
it.
right? So
It's
it's sandbox, and so
Oh,
it really
yeah.
comes down to how you want to play the game. So what you're saying is the version that you guys played of the game versus what Ethan played is something completely different. Everyone's experiences is slightly different or
Yeah.
completely different. When you guys started the game, what was it that immersed you two into the game completely? Maybe Ethan missed out on that.
I just love everything pretty much Wild West. I like fucking Western movies. I like
Yeah.
cowboy culture, shit like that. It was finally a game that I love third person open world games, and that was just my shit. Played it out.
How about you, Hobbs? What got you into the Red Dead, the original?
What got me into Redemption was pretty much how Jake says, just like, you're a fucking cowboy. And it was just so fucking awesome. And the story was awesome. Like, I remember being so pissed off even at the end. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, that sucked.
I look at them as like movies that you're playing. That's
Yeah.
why it's a full on experience for me, because I don't like rush through the cutscenes. The acting is good in it. Like, they got great
Oh, it's
voice
superb,
actors.
dude.
Yeah,
They've
all that shit is
handpicked the
on
best
point.
voice actors and characters, and I'll give them that. That's fucking
Okay.
awesome.
But it's a cowboy simulator, is what you're looking at. You really feel like
it's
you're in
Westworld.
there.
Yeah.
It's Westworld. You feel like you're part of that, and you feel like so the slow pace of it is also part of it. Then too, I'm taking it. The
Yeah.
fact that you need to. I mean, I've watched you guys play the second one quite a bit, and like I could see myself getting lost in the world. Like Will made the joke a long time ago about being in a horse riding simulator, but that's
Yeah.
part of the experience. Is like you
Right.
have to get into the world and
That's
feel
how they
enraptured
did
by
it.
So what about you, Ethan? You said that you did not have the same experience where you were just like, this is not working for me. Did you-
For RDR1, I had mostly just gotten into it because a very close friend of mine was huge into it, and not to mention zombies was my shit when that game was huge. When I was hardcore on Xbox 360 playing Call of Duty or whatever the fuck, and Undead Nightmare looked fucking awesome.
right.
And I don't know, man. I was really confused at the very, very beginning of what the fuck was going on, who these characters were. No one was explaining who any of these people
You
were or
gotta
why
play
I
the
should give a
first
fuck.
game first.
All right, so you skipped
I'm gonna
RD.
play the fucking DLC first.
You played the
No,
DLC
I was
first.
playing base Red Dead Redemption. I didn't go into
Okay.
Undead first.
Okay.
It's,
Like, what was so confusing about it? I'm not being an asshole. I just want to know.
well, my focus during that game's popularity was I wanted to play multiplayer shit. I was not going through story-driven games all that much then. So
Okay.
if I went back to it, which I probably won't now because there's so many other things I want to play, and that same friend is getting on to me for not having finished RDR2. So
Is
Oh,
it
we
one
are
of these
too.
two?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I was gonna
like-
say we are also.
Yeah.
well, that makes 3.
Well, here's the thing. I do want to talk about Undead Nightmare real quick because that's when I think the game really hit its stride and people went back from that point and played the original base game. Because I remember that being introduced to me and being like, fuck yeah, I want to play that. Is it an extension of the storyline from the original or does it take place in an alternate universe?
Alternate universe.
But it's the same characters?
John
Yeah.
Marston, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because if you played the first one, you'd know that John Marston dies at the end.
Oh, spoilers, bitches! And if you're listening to this, you should have known that already.
The game's been out forever.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
Okay.
So,
10-year spoiler in the time of COVID. Deal with it. We're
or
getting zombies
it
soon.
takes place during the time of the first one before Jack dies, like sometime in between then, like
Yeah.
a fucking little cutscene. But either that, it's just non-canon. I don't know.
Is the game as long as the original base game too, or is it shorter?
No.
No.
No, it's
It's
like
really short.
4 or 5
It's
hours,
short,
maybe.
Yeah, but
That's
is it
that.
better or is it just fun in addition to?
It's just fun.
Oh,
in
it's just
addition
fun.
to-
You're killing zombies in Wild West now.
Yeah. So I
And
mean,
what's awesome, I really like. They would have like little side missions where all of a sudden you would just see a person in a house or a shed, and the house is just being swarmed by zombies. Like, hey, you could go save her if you want.
Right.
You're like, okay, let me
Yeah,
go save this person from the
see,
zombies.
I like
Sit
Stranger
back and
Missions
watch
also.
them.
You know, they fucking did the same shit in all the GTAs where you could decide if you want to do this little side piece. If you don't want to, it's not going to affect your gameplay at all. You know, and I think that's really clever of them to do that and add shit like that in there.
well, let's talk about the big daddy of it. Let's talk about Red Dead Redemption 2.
That game
Sure.
is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is
Sure.
next level detail.
So what is it about this
Dominated.
game?
Well, I guess whenever it first came out, you heard about how detailed and how endless the possibilities were. One of the first things that they mentioned was the horse's balls shrinking in the snow. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm
So
not gonna
everybody
lie, I
like
need to go play this game
automatically
again
like
right
went
now.
everybody went rushed to the fucking mountains to go look at their fucking horse stuff automatically. Like, on top of that, the snow
Oh,
in
they're
it,
shaking.
the
Dude,
snow in it is so lifelike. Whenever you walk through it, you can make patterns.
I kind of want to know more about these horse balls.
Yeah. You're saying the game's so realistic that the total and utter immersion of feeling like you are a cowboy in the Wild West, it just takes you over. It just consumes you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not hear Jake talk about the horse balls?
I did hear Jake talk about the horse balls. We were
Can't
all
get more
staring at
realistic
them.
than that.
Horsey nuts.
Yes, the horsey nuts. Like when you guys started it, like I said, Will made the joke about being a horse riding simulator,
Yeah.
but it does take a minute to get into the actual gameplay of it, right?
Yeah, the very first mission, it's also the opening credits. I'd say it's probably a good half hour, like right off the
Oh,
bat,
that's not too
right
bad.
there. Yeah, but I mean, still building up to it. Like you start off in the mountains and you can't really do anything. You're just foraging for food and trying to find the rest of your gang members before you can get out of the mountains. And once you get out of the mountains, that's whenever the shit gets fucking awesome,
I
bro.
still think that
Chapter 2 is
Redemption
the
2,
shit.
Red Dead Redemption 2 had the better introduction than Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh, for
Is
sure.
that-
I mean, I like the not knowing what was going on with John Marston, who these guys were, taking him off the fucking boat. You know, they
Yeah.
don't give you very much information. It's like, okay, that's cool. And then by the time he gets off the boat, you realize that he's a prisoner.
Yeah.
But this right here, they're recovering from a tragedy that just happened to them, you know, in some town. And they're all fucking scatterbrained and fucking just disheveled,
I
lost.
felt like they kind of pulled that from like Hateful Eight or something.
Yeah, but this game has been in development for like 8 years, and that was way before. Hateful
Rockstar
Eight,
takes their
you know.
time with certain games.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of them.
Well,
And
yeah,
so-
they're definitely
I mean,
taking their
it
time
is-
with GTA 6. I mean,
I
fuck, they're
would watch-
re-releasing 5.
Yeah,
Again.
Yeah, no, and we're not getting updates for Red Dead Online or anything like that. I would totally watch a Red Dead Redemption movie. Like, if
Fuck
they
yeah.
based a movie off of RDR2, it would be so fucking good. Like, that's the reason why I play it so much, is because it's like I'm playing in a fucking movie that I really, 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 really love. It's like I'm playing fucking Lonesome Dove.
Yeah, really what it comes down to is you two quote lines from the game all the fucking time. Like Jake and
They got
Javi
some
have like
killer
this-
fucking lines
they
in
have
there,
this
bro.
weird shorthand where they'll say a line from the game and I'll be like, I know it's from Red Dead Redemption because they go
Yeah.
into the voice.
Like,
I don't
could
know
just
what
go Maka and Jacob, and Jake would just go like, he's a rat.
He's a
a
rat.
rat. Dutch.
The rat,
Rat.
Dutch.
So is this storyline a continuation of Red Dead 1 or is it a prequel,
Prequel.
and
It's
a
a
sequel?
prequel.
It's a
It's a
prequel.
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 And a sequel or only a prequel?
Prequel.
That's it.
Prequel.
So I need to technically play it first and then Red Dead 1, right?
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, either or. But I would play the newest one first and go back, and then you'll see how much the other one is lacking compared to how great this
Or
one
what you
is.
can do is start with RDR2 because you're not going to want to sit through RDR1 after you
Or
play.
you
So
can
what
play
you
it
gotta
how everyone was meant to play
Play
it and start with Red
RDR2.
Dead Revolver, go into...
Yes.
do, or start
Yes.
with RDR2 and then watch the cutscenes for RDR1 and then Red Dead Revolver.
Well,
and then you
that's
got to
a
read
valid
the comic
point.
book and then the fan dub. And-
yeah.
But could you just watch the cutscenes of the game and enjoy it?
Yeah,
Do
they
you have
have
to
they
play
have
it?
them on YouTube. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
can watch it. I would recommend playing it a little bit, maybe play a key mission or two, and then if you want to watch the cutscene movie and then play RDR2, I think it would work.
I'm not too sure about that because I think you would have to like get a few missions in, get like 2 or 3 chapters in before you did that because you're gonna want to get emotionally
You have to, yeah,
invested.
exactly. That's the thing. You have to meet the characters.
Yeah.
You have
So
to meet
explain
Bill.
to me.
You have to meet Javier. You have to meet Dutch.
What is the experience
Don
of
and
it,
Abigail.
though? That's what you're saying right now, and that's what always intrigues me, is you guys are so, it's almost like a religion to you both. You guys are so enthralled by it. Like I said, 6 times for Javi, 7 times for Jake. You guys have played it from beginning to end, 100+ hour game. So what is it the experience like for those who've never played it? What gets you in there? Like, what's it like the combat system and like the mission system and the open world aspect? Is it all your choice on how you want to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, truly. I mean, there's some things that are unavoidable that you have to do that you might not want to have to do a certain way. But, I mean, it works out for the game regardless. The mechanics, the fighting system, I think, is really good, at least the firing, because it does a little bit of auto-aim. You know, you can always hit the left trigger, and it'll bring up your sight on the enemy, and then you can choose from there, like if you want to shift up a little bit and cap them in the head instead of just hitting straight in the body. It's real user-friendly in that sense. The actual fighting, the melees and shit in it,
it's very simple. Just very
simple. But I wish it had a little more to it. You got like 3 buttons that you can hit. You got B, you just hit that for punch, you know, X to block, and then Y to grab them.
It's very GTA-esque, but what kind of threw me off is I was expecting it to be more or less an exact copy of GTA 5, and so that was kind of weird going into the game like that. But after you play like maybe an hour or so of it, it's fine. The controls are all right.
So how about you, Ethan? You were on the side of not enjoying this one either.
No, it was okay. It just couldn't hold my attention.
Do you not like Westerns, or do you think there is something to that? Like, what was your experience that you were the inverse of that?
I think my issue with it was the pacing of the game, in my opinion, is god-awful. At least starting at the 2nd chapter and going through to the end of it. I've put in, like, a couple hours into the game at least, maybe up to, might have maybe barely touched 10 hours. And I don't think I was anywhere near the end of Chapter 2.
Do you think that has to do with simply that, what you said? You are a little bit younger than us. You think the attention span aspect of it, you think that's part of it? Because the game you play, like, when you play Black Ops, I had no fucking idea what was going on half the time, and you were following it like crazy. It was too fast for my old brain.
Oh, yeah.
Know. And we're a little bit older. Yeah.
It could be like that, but then I've also dumped, 200+ hours into, like, Persona 5 or something like that.
Yeah, that point, you know what, you're right. My point was pointless there.
I'm a sucker for a good story, and I know Red Dead as a whole, even the 1st and 2nd game alone, has a fantastic story. It's just too damn slow in the beginning.
What do you guys feel like holds it together for you? Because when we first started talking about the game, it really came down to the little things. Like we talked about going to the bathhouse and getting a little rub-a-dub tug. Like,
having your
washed. If you're listening to this, you haven't played the game, she tugs you off in the bathtub. Like, that shit is for real.
100%.
Washes it. She just washes it.
Yeah, but it's a very suggestive gesture, is all I'm saying.
I mean, when he gets like one leg up on her, she's like,
Yeah. As I was saying, that's the same as in Link 2 when he goes into the houses and he gets his health refilled by the woman. You know what they're doing in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, why do you think all those hearts are spinning around?
Yeah, exactly. But little things like that, is that also what makes the game and helps create the experience?
Things like that,
charming.
Just like right off the bat, just the story really gets you. You just delve in and you just like want to do what's good for Arthur.
Character development.
I love
for
Arthur.
Everybody. Arthur Morgan is the best fucking protagonist out of any fucking
really
video game
is.
ever.
He's a great character. And they got the guy that plays him too, he's
Roger
really
Clark.
cool as fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I've watched
oh
a lot
god,
of videos on him. He's a good dude.
So
he's cool
great,
as shit.
But is that part of the game? Is the good and bad aspect of it? Can you choose which side you want to go on?
Yes.
So what's
that's
that
the whole
like?
fucking...
Like if you're a piece of shit, this game is gonna make sure you're gonna die on a piece of shit turn. If you like play the game and you have really high honor, you're gonna get like a pretty dope ass death, one that's worthy of how you played it. So what you put into it is what you get in the end, and that's a pretty fucking badass aspect of a game.
So whenever I first played it, I did low dishonor, max dishonor, pretty much. I fucked everybody up. I didn't give a shit.
Yep.
I get to the end, and you kind of get a little bit of redemption at the end because you're kind of forced to in a mission where you have to kick this guy out of the camp who forced you to lend money to all these people. He's a fucking debt collector is what Arthur is essentially. And spoiler alerts, he gets tuberculosis and dies from it.
Tuberculosis?
Yep, 2 of them. Motherfucker gets TB and dies from it. And it's because he had to go collect money from this guy who had it. And what happened was he ended up dying from it, the guy who gave it to Arthur. Well, his wife is still forced to give them back the money, so she goes off and becomes a whore in some fucking mining town, and she's riddled with STDs, and you can just tell her life's gone way down fucking hill. Arthur witnesses this after he realizes that he has tuberculosis and how he got tuberculosis, right? So he confronts her and is like, hey, I want to make this right. And he's trying to give her all this money, and she doesn't want anything to do with it. Finally, he convinces her and her son to take his money and get the fuck out of the town and go start a better life. After that point, you go back to your camp. You have a gang that you're running with the entire time. You go back to your camp and you go to the money lender and you force his ass out of camp and tell him to leave because he's fucked up and he's ruining people's lives. So your honor jumps up like a good fucking 30% right there. Kring! And that's the redemption in Red Dead Redemption right there.
How cool is that?
So Arthur becomes a better person throughout the game after, he realizes that he's dying and he's going to die. So
that's a main part of the storyline. That's how this begins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I thought this was a choice.
No.
So this is
no. So that you don't even realize it, though, until, like, the 5th chapter of the game. And 5th chapter is Guarma. Yeah, so you don't even realize it till after Guarma. So you're deep in the game. It's only 6 chapters plus a 3-part epilogue. So
I'm sold. That right there.
Oh, it's so fucking good, dude.
It's a great story.
Like, this was the first game I ever cried at the end. Like, I legit fucking cried.
So, yeah, that's what I was getting at. So, I played bad. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. But I played bad, and Arthur fucking got capped in the fucking head at the end. And I cried. I did. And I went back and played it a second time. Good on her. He dies in the fucking sunlight without getting capped. Like, I mean, there's 4 different ways you can end this game, and I've done all 4.
How do you get the other 2?
It involves having high honor and going back to the camp to get the money.
Or high honor and like protecting John.
Yeah, or you can do low honor both ways.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it gives you a different ending each time.
And I'm a fan of the multiple endings. We talked about BioShock before, me and Ethan. That good ending is the ending you always want playing that game. You don't harvest the little sisters. That's cry, little sister.
It's so stupid because it's like, well, I'm going to play as a way better Arthur this time. I'm not going to mess with anybody that doesn't deserve it. Like, you go out of your way and, like, help people. Like, there'll be people that, hey, I need a ride back to town. My horse broke its ankle.
Yeah,
oh, get on.
No. So what is the bad version of that? Is the bad version of that is rape and pillage?
Bad version is, I need help. Yeah, bang. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
or that, or you can just fucking disgrace them while they're asking for help. Like, yeah, I bet you do, you piece of shit. And then just right away, they're like, well, fuck you, motherfucker. And your honor goes down. Like,
let me I've gotten knocked up by my own gang members. That's how much of an asshole I turned.
Oh, yeah.
You got impregnated by your other gang members?
Knocked out.
Oh, I thought you said knocked up. I was like, you got gang banged by the gang? What happened?
Everybody in my gang hated me. I was such a fucking asshole. I was getting knocked up by everybody.
Damn it, Dutch, this one's yours.
Yeah, it gives you a choice to antagonize or greet people, and obviously you get the desired results.
But which one is funner to play?
I like playing high honor. I like playing mid honor. So what I like to do, I like to play low, be kind of shady, but draw the line, like play like an outlaw. And then whenever I realize I have tuberculosis, just be good the rest of the game.
And that worked?
That's what I did my first time around.
It's like true redemption. So you feel it while you're playing it also.
No shit.
So you have to atone for the ways that you've been playing.
Well, I will let you know this now. I fucking love high honor playing. I love Arthur Morgan so much that I can't ever play him on low honor ever again. Low honor was once enough for me. There's certain people that I don't feel bad about killing or doing fucked up shit to in the game, but there's certain people I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna fuck with him. He's just enjoying his NPC day,
Just going around being non-existent. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out on October 26, 2018 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows on November 5th, 2019, and Stadia on November 19th, 2019. Did you guys know it was on Stadia?
Yeah, we don't talk about
I forgot Stadia was even still a thing.
Stadia is like the Game Gear of what's going on right now.
Dude, that's the Sega channel on cable.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It'll be gone in a year.
I don't know, man. They put a lot of money behind it, so we'll see what happens.
They put a lot of money behind whatever what was that stupid Google Facebook service? I can't remember.
Yeah, Google Plus.
Yeah, Google Plus. It's going to go the way of Google Plus.
Google Hangouts.
It's going to go the way of the Virtual Boy.
Who knew? I think Zoom Meeting literally created COVID-19 because like everyone fucking uses it.
Yeah,
like,
they're like fucking seeing.
I think you said that just about every podcast.
But it's so fucking
People
true,
are
though.
going on dates on Zoom. They're having sex on Zoom.
What?
You're talking about RDR2 on Zoom?
Well, let's talk about Arthur Morgan. You guys said he is the best character.
Sure.
You all agree with that. Everyone's like, yes,
stranger.
What is it about his character that entices you guys in? Like, just Jake telling the story about part of one of the chapters there, I was like, holy fuck, that's great. But is he a good proxy for you? Is he an avatar or is he his own thing?
It's got to be because he's what at least I picture when I think of spaghetti westerns. He is like the face of it all. When you think of western movies, a western setting, this is the outlaw rebel who's, might be a good guy, does some good things, does some questionable things, but overall he's doing the right thing.
So he's Clint Eastwood.
He's Clint Eastwood, bro.
He's Clint Eastwood.
He's all of them, man. Like, I mean,
John Wayne, Clint Eastwood.
The
third one.
Yeah.
There's no
Steve
one else.
McQueen. Fucking there is.
Yeah.
Lee Marvin, Yul Brynner.
Oh god damn it! I gotta name one. Hold on. Let me save face here. I gotta throw something out. You know what? Just go on. I can't think of a Western.
Dude, Yul Brynner's the shit, though.
Cleave.
Especially when you guys talk about Westworld. Like, that character he played, which was the precursor to the Terminator, was a parody of himself because he played a cowboy so much. And then it was old hat, and then he came back and played a robotic cowboy. And if you've ever seen the original Westworld movie, it really is. It's so fucking good. It's a slow-paced movie, but god damn it, he's terrifying.
I've never seen anything Westworld related ever.
I just finished season 3, and it wasn't great. Not gonna lie. But thank you, Jake, for letting me use your code so I can watch it.
Oh, of course.
What else about this game? I feel like you've won me over. Ethan, do you ever want to give it a try again, or no?
I'll probably get back into it at some point. I still have it installed.
And this time, make sure you go more than 10 hours, okay?
Yeah.
More than 10 hours.
I mean, I like the
9 of those 10 hours were spent on horseback going to the next mission. There was only story in about an hour of that entire playthrough.
And 9 of my 10 hours was me.
Did you even leave the mountains? Because even if you didn't get out of Chapter 2 yet, Chapter 2 is like one of the best chapters. Like, that's the time you can flourish the most. You can go explore the most. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Like, I mean, the world is open. Like, even you can't even see the map, but it doesn't even restrict you from going into it. Like, say, GTA, whenever you tried going into the Las Vegas part of it, and you'd always get 5 stars immediately. There's only one place that does that. That's if you try to go south of the border to Blackwater. Can't do that.
I really did like how this game handles like the random events and stuff. It feels like stuff that would really happen in that setting. Like you said, the guy whose horse broke his ankle, the guy that's standing on the side of the road asking for help. If you ignore him, he pulls out a gun and just tries to rob you. It's awesome.
To expound upon that, there's also these consequences by being a good person and stopping for people. Like, because they try to rob your ass also. They'll come and grab you off your fucking horse. And as soon as you get on, if you whistle, like if your horse is trained, they'll fucking buck the motherfucker off immediately. You just kind of walk up to him and shoot him in his fucking head.
And then you don't lose honor in that case because they're an
No, you don't. Yeah. But there's always a flip side of the coin because I've come across several missions where it's played out differently or just little side quests. Like there's been times where I've come up on a guy trying to reshoe his horse and he either gets kicked in his fucking head and dies immediately and the horse stays there, or the horse gets spooked and run off and you have to go catch the horse and bring it back to the guy. I mean, either way.
What was the deal with that one like explorer dude? Because I came across him and he was like
Gavin?
trying to. That might have been.
Gavin?
Might have been Gavin.
No, wait. Was he looking for a treasure? Did you get
I think
a treasure
so.
map
Yeah.
of him?
Yeah.
That's the hidden trail treasure, I believe, or the poisonous trail treasure. You have to get the treasure off the old man. He doesn't want to give it up, so you have to either kill him or fucking beat him up and take it. But in the online mode, there's like 10 treasure maps that you can get. And I'm on my 7th playthrough right now, and I'm in chapter 3, like midway. But I've already gotten all 10 of those treasure maps. So, like, I stacked my fucking gold up quick. Like, because I already
There's fucking treasure in this game, but you can go find buried treasure. I like. Do you get to be like a deputy or anything, like a sheriff? Do you get to go on missions?
Actually, in
bounties
chapter 3,
and shit?
you do. Yes, in chapter 3,
What?
you become the sheriff for the town of Rhodes.
Yep.
And you,
I forgot about that.
Why am I not playing this fucking game? Are you kidding me?
So
And you get
good,
to like
bro.
fucking blow
It's
up like moonshiners and shit.
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
actually
the
get to run
thing-
official police
Yeah.
business.
Like, there's train robberies. There's fucking. I mean, I
The
like
train scene at the beginning was badass.
Dude, that
That
was
was
so
fucking
good.
fun.
Okay, so if you get to chapter 3, there's a scene where a confrontation between these two families, kind of like the Hatfields and McCoys. They're called the Grays and the Braithwaites.
Nice.
And it's this ongoing family feud that they've had forever. And you pit them against one another, your gang does. And it doesn't work out for you because you've been hearing all through the town that they got fucking gold hidden somewhere, and it never fucking pans out for you. They find out that you're trying to double cross them. And one of the families kidnaps John Marston's son, Jack Marston. Okay, they take him back to this plantation house, and whenever they find out who fucking took him, like the whole gang mounts up and rides to this fucking plantation house, and it's set at night, and the scenery is so fucking great because they're all fucking lined up yelling at this fucking old house, like, "Get out here! Where's the fucking boy?" You know, and everybody's just ready to throw down. It's such
Just that cutscene walk.
Oh God!
Walk up and it's just like, oh my fucking chills.
Everybody's walking. Yeah, I got goosebumps just talking about it.
I mean, you guys are. It's a hard set. Like, I'm sold. Like, I really want to play it. I'm like,
Y'all are
so
making me
fucking-
want to get back on it now.
That's what I'm
It's
saying,
so
dude. Get back on the horse, play the game.
Well,
That's
they totally get back on the horse and play
That's
the
right.
game.
Yeah.
But here's the
Why
thing.
do we fall off?
So
Maybe we
here's
can learn to pick ourselves back up.
what is your favorite memory of
Mr.
this
Christopher
game?
Reeve.
Like, what was the? What a dick move, Father. You're whatever just went down. You're like,
I'm
what's
not
it called?
Your honor just
Your
went
honor
rock
just
bottom.
dropped by like 50 points right
bottom,
there,
bro.
bro.
Yeah,
Wow.
dude,
But my
seriously.
charisma
You're going to get
shot
capped
up,
in the head.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you are enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the podcast.
What is your favorite memory of this game? What was the one thing that sticks out? Like the first playthrough, the second playthrough, do you experience something different every time, or is there like one specific like thing that where you're just like, holy fuck?
I mean, all of it. Like, I really can lose myself in the game. I find it very immersive, and I really like the character interactions. I mean, there's so many great moments in the game. They all deserve merit and adulation. I could call them out, but we'd be sitting here all fucking night. The hidden dialogue stuff, I like that. Like, I think I sent you all a video where the old man Jose is talking to another camp member. And he's like, go out there and find some work. You know, go kill a godforsaken animal. And this
Oh, was it Bill? I think it was.
yeah, it's Jose and Bill. And this carries out over a couple days, and Bill's progressively drunk. Jose is like one of the leaders of the gang. It's Dutch, Hosea, and then Arthur. And Dutch and Hosea pretty much raised Arthur. And Hosea is telling one of the members of the gang, get out and go fucking do something. He's like, well, you said we should lie low. And it's like, go out there and kill a godforsaken animal. I don't care, Bill. And he gets fucking drunk as fuck. And then the next day, he's talking shit. I forget what it was. And finally, at the final conversation, he'd had enough of Bill's shit. He's like, hey, old man. And he's like, excuse me? He's like, go sleep it off, you dirty drunk. And he's like, excuse me? I think I've excused you quite enough, goddammit. Now go sleep it off, you filthy drunk. And he's fucking holding the gun to him. He's like fucking points the bag. He's like, okay. You know, like there's just stupid little fucking things like that. It's so good. Like, but you can miss it in the blink of an eye. Like, because you don't get to see these same experiences in every playthrough.
Right.
How about that scene in the bar with Lenny though? That's
Oh,
legendary.
that's one of the best
That's
fucking
legendary.
mentions. Yeah, everybody loves that.
Lenny!
Lenny! There you are.
How about you, Hob? What was the one that really stuck with you?
There's two scenes that stuck with me. The first one is when the Pinkertons have John's family, or I think they just got John. John and Abigail, and then Mrs. Adler. She wants to go save him and shit. So it's like up to Arthur. You have the decision. You could go with by yourself, or you could go with Miss Adler. And if you choose Miss Adler, there's this awesome cutscene where he mounts up, and it's just his voice. He has a great voice, like Mrs. Adler. And then she gets on top and he goes, ride with me. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's just like
fuck
fucking
yeah.
shit. And I'm like, it like cuts to like most amazing fucking music that goes with the scene as you and Miss Adler just fucking like barreling, go save to save Abigail. And just that line of him going, ride with me. And I was just like, yeah. I was like, oh God.
I don't think I've ever once chosen not to go with Sadie right then, though.
I don't think I've not chosen.
And I was going to say, yeah. I wonder what would happen if I didn't choose that. Well, and also, like, whenever you get back from Guarma and they play that fucking stand unshaken. The music in it is fucking amazing, dude. The music is so goddamn good in it and on point.
Oh, and that's the thing that we keep talking about.
We haven't even talked about the fucking epilogue yet.
Well, nope. I mean, but the music, everything, the story is what seems to be the main thing. The fact that it plays well, the fact that it looks amazing, the fact that it's so immersive through sound and through lighting. We've kind of touched on everything, but that's what I've gathered is like the base is there, but it's the story that elevates it, and how you experience the story is which elevates it even more. What is it about the epilogue that makes this? I mean, big spoilers, I guess.
Satisfaction. Satisfaction.
Revenge.
Closure. Yeah, all three.
Just fucking exterminating a piece of shit that shouldn't have been alive in the first place.
What the hell does that mean?
Micah, he's the rat.
That was my second favorite, where Arthur just like fucking walks in on the fucking group and he's like, "You're all a bunch of fucking rats," and he's just like talking to Micah and his boys, and he just didn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, Cleet and Little Joe.
Yep. And that's when like Javier and Bill also turn on Arthur. Like, "Oh, I'm so fucking glad John killed you. I'm so fucking glad John killed you."
But that, like, playing that, you realize, like, the characters that they were in Red Dead Redemption, the first one, you can see, like, it gives you an answer as to why these people were the way they were in the first one that you played, which is actually the second one.
So how does that tie in? Because I don't know how that ties in. How, like, so you're actually, your character in the first game is going against all these people who were part of the gang then?
Well, in the first one, John is pretty much forced by the feds to go hunt down the rest of his gang members. Mm-hmm. And Bill, Javier, and Dutch. I think it may have been somebody after Javier, before Dutch. Or was it just Javier, Bill, and Dutch?
I think it was somebody else that wasn't in RDR2.
So does it say up front that it's a prequel, or do you put that together just through the storyline?
You put it together through the storyline because at the beginning it's got John Marston in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, in the end of Red Dead 1, he's dead, isn't he? And his son picks up the epilogue of that game?
Yeah. He gets capped up. He gets shot the fuck up. He goes out in a blaze of glory, man.
He died like a fucking badass.
Oh, yeah. He got fucking shot like 30 fucking times and then fucking fell to his knees. He stood there shooting forever. So in the epilogue, though, after Arthur dies, you take over as John Marston and you start your life as him. Yeah, so you get revenge on the guy that killed Arthur. And you
oh, wait, so it is it's still a prequel, but then it transitions into the first game then.
Yeah.
Yep.
It leads in.
Yep.
How long is that gameplay aspect of it? Is that like a third of the game or a fourth of the game or just a small part of it?
You could do that in about like 30 hours, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe less. It's a good little chunk.
So what's that like?
You could really speak
It's like the third act of an Apatow movie.
It's too long. But you're saying Arthur Ford gets capped.
Arthur Morgan. If we're going to stay correct.
My bad.
Right.
Arthur Morgan gets capped about 70% into the game, and then you have another part of the game that you're going to play.
Well, he doesn't necessarily get capped, but that's how you play it. Yeah, he dies regardless. But yes, you get to go get revenge on the guy that was responsible for everything that happened bad to the gang. And the gang is like this they're like a perfect peaceful community at the beginning, and they slowly start
they fall apart.
Yeah, they start falling apart, and then people are leaving left and right. People are dying left and right. Like, it's fucking crazy. There's all these conversations. Like, at the beginning, Dutch says something about, we're not going to be one of those gangs just holed up in some cave anywhere. And then chapter 6, you're a gang holed up in a fucking cave. You know, like, you just see it
prophecy,
all. Oh, yeah.
And what's even more amazing about the game, throughout the game in, like, little side dialogue, you actually see and hear Dutch's descent into fucking madness and shit. And like, however far he goes, he just drags the rest of the gang along with him.
Whenever he's like out there in the fire, he's like, we are all dead. You know, that shit.
Like, it's just.
Or what about whenever you walk up on him, whenever you get back from Garma, and he's playing the invisible chess game, and he's like, knight to J7, rook to F5. You know, doing all that shit, and you just walk up on him. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here?
You even get little hints from like Lenny and people that were in the Blackwater job. They're just like, well, I never seen Dutch like that. It's like, what the fuck happened on that boat in Blackwater that fucking like made that flip switch? Well,
Arthur called him out in Guarma also whenever he kills that old lady. Like, you're losing it, old man.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what it is. He's just becoming senile. Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, there's something else that happens. there is something else that happens in the game. You go to rob Western Union or some shit like this in Saint Denis, which is New Orleans, and you had to take a trolley to get out of there after you realized that the lead that they got was a bust. So Arthur and Lenny and Dutch steal this trolley that's in the middle of Saint Denis, and they take it down the fucking rails, and they're running from the cops. Well, there's a bad fucking wreck at the end of it, and Dutch is complaining about hurting his fucking head. And it's like, oh shit, and then he keeps talking about it a little bit later, and they think that crash had something to do with a little more descent into his madness. And that's why the gang was a little more split after that also.
So it's a subtle thing that kind of it's there, but it's very subtle. So you
but if you pick up on it, you're like, oh shit, that makes sense.
So what is Red Dead Redemption Online? Is this a continuation of the game? I guess it was a public beta that was released. What is the story with
the
this?
original RDR online game was so fucking good.
It was fun.
It was fucking fun as hell.
I remember hopping in with my friends and we'd capture the little military base or whatever and just kill all the soldiers that they'd respawn and shit. Oh, that was so much fun.
So what was it? It was just a smaller version of the missions of this game that you could play online, or it was?
It's free roam, pretty much. Yeah, you can just do whatever you want.
Roam gang hideouts and shit. You get to raid those.
You can create your own character and do stuff by yourself in it, or you can interact with other players, or somebody can just come along and fucking grief your ass out of nowhere for no reason. And
is it still available to play with your friends online if you want to, or did they shut it down?
Now Darren and I play.
So it's still there. Is that a better experience, or is that just in addition to? I don't like the online.
They fucked it up.
They dropped the ball for online for RDR 2.
They keep adding updates to Grand Theft Auto as opposed to fucking taking care of the fucking cash cow over here. Well, actually, Grand Theft Auto is the cash cow, but I mean, it's the red-deaded stepchild.
There you go, yeah.
They really kind of fucked Red Dead 2 online at launch because it was a buggy, glitchy mess, and people were having trouble logging on and all this shit. And
anticipated also, though, people were so pumped about it when it first came out. They're just like, fuck yeah, I can't wait for RDO. And then, what is this dog shit?
It was bad.
If it takes another 10 years to get a Red Dead 3, what do you guys want from that game, and what do you expect? You don't think Ethan will take that long? You're shaking your head no?
I don't think they're going to go for Red Dead Redemption 3. It's going to be Red Dead something else. It's got to be. Because it's probably going to follow different characters, different arcs, stuff like that. Or maybe they could pick it up with John Marston's kid or something.
Jack Marston, that would be logical. I was thinking what they would do again was another prequel, and they go back to whenever Arthur and Dutch and Hosea were young and just starting the fucking gang. That would be a great fucking premise.
Who would they play as?
Would be as a Red Harlow, and how he initiates or finds a young Dutch Vanderlyn and brings him into the fold and shows him the outlaw life and shit.
And maybe play as Dutch through that or something?
Well, the thing about that, they talk about Red Harlow in both of the Red Dead Redemption games, but it's kind of referred to as myth or lore. It was just this character.
Paul Bunyan.
Exactly. Because I pulled up to people at campfires, they talk about Red Harlow and his fucking journeys. So speculation is that maybe he was a real person in the world, but they blew his stories up so much, and that's the game that you fucking play in Red Dead Revolver.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, what? It is?
Fuck.
No, I'm just saying, maybe. I mean, that would make the most sense.
That is so fucking dope.
Because it's so cartoony and fucking over the top and all that shit.
Maybe you're reenacting those stories through the eyes of the people that are telling the tales.
Story of Red Harlow, who's a real man, right?
No shit. Okay, what do you guys want? Do you want a sequel game? Because I love the idea of the additional prequel. You kind of sold me on that too. But then also a new game that finishes off and ties off this storyline.
I would be okay with a couple chunks of DLC, maybe a Charles storyline and Sadie storyline.
Fuck that, Undead Nightmare 2. Let's go.
That too. That would be great. Or maybe you get to go back to the gang before the Blackwater incident, and then you get to see what goes down in Blackwater before all this shit. You have to run from the law. I think that'd be cool
too.
Hobbs, what do you want?
Part of me would like to see, like Jake said, Sadie, Charles DLC. I would love to see a game where you see what happens with Jack after all that shit. But I also want to see, the Blackwater job, I want to see young Arthur and young John fucking joining the gang and all that. Maybe they could just have, one game where it's kind of you're going at different points in time and how they all interconnect.
I see what you're saying. They kind of did that like with Resident Evil 6, though, and that shit doesn't always work out, so they'd really have to do that well.
I mean, look at the time that Rockstar puts in to the Red Dead series, but compared to the time, like they put in a lot of time. Not so much for GTA, which is why they're able to like pump them out in a reasonable amount of time. What?
Ethan, what do you want to say? The look on your face.
Know how many hours it took them? How many years it took them to make GTA 5?
How many?
Oh, yeah, it was ridiculous.
Do you know how many years it's going to take them before we'll even get a sequel to GTA 5? They've gone 3 generations, and they're still pumping out the same game.
Yeah, I think they're definitely working on something. But the deal with Red Dead Redemption 2, that took almost 6-7 years to make that game. They pulled everybody. They took Rockstar North, Rockstar San Diego, and I forget the other one. There's 3 different Rockstar ports, right?
Yep.
And they took
Sydney.
All of them were working on Red Dead at the same fucking time. That's a lot of fucking work. Usually they just portion it out like Rockstar North did Bully, you know? Rockstar San Diego did.
I would love to see a sequel to that game.
Get a Bully too. So what I was thinking, why don't they just do a game that crosses all of them over because they have one defining factor in it, and that's Chelonianism, right? The cult that's in both Grand Theft Auto. So, like, and there's also time travel pretty much involved in Red Dead Redemption 2. You come across this guy. Yeah, so, but I'm just saying there's this one scene where, like, in Chelonianism, I guess I'm saying it right. What is the cult called in Grand Theft Auto? GTA 5. Okay, it's a different name, but they're almost exactly the same. They wear white and baby blue, and they both worship this guy who has a red mark. Altruist. Yeah, the altruist.
Yeah, so they had that camp in the wilderness part of. Yeah,
so
I remember.
There's also the part where you can be Michael and you join the fucking cult in GTA 5.
Yeah.
So how would you see that transfer over?
But they all tie together. So there's this one side mission in Red Dead Redemption 2 where you come across this guy who's got a red birthmark on his face and red hair, who's like he fits the description of the leader that they all talk about. And he asks Arthur to go find all these rock carvings throughout the game. So whenever Arthur finds them all, he goes back to the house and the guy isn't there. And the mom's like, no, this is my son right here. And it was a baby with the birthmark on his face. But it's got all these. Yeah, Francis Sinclair. And it's got all these fucking images on the wall that looks like he's in all these places at different times, like at the pyramids and then also at the Twin Tower, or not Twin Towers, but Empire State Building and shit, which hadn't even been built yet.
What?
So it's got like all this. Yeah, there's all this crazy fucking shit going on in there. So that could be a fucking way that they could transfer the two over because they've already introduced time travel. These two are already they're already connected. Yeah,
that would be
so like a massive crossover fucking game, like fucking Last Action Hero or fucking goddamn Lego Movie or whatever else.
That means that you could actually see on
Ready Player One,
Arthur Morgan and fucking Vinny Vercetti in like one scene. That would be fucking dope. Come on,
Arthur and fucking Trevor.
Oh,
that would be sweet.
Hey man, that
fucks with that.
Crazy. Can I wear your hat? I'm gonna wear that hat.
So
give me the fucking hat.
Should they turn this into a TV show, a Netflix show? I don't think you can do a movie. It's too much storyline. But could they do it through Netflix, Hulu, Amazon?
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah, if they fucking took a page from The Witcher.
Yeah,
definitely. I think they can make a really fucking good version of this.
How about make a good Red Dead one? But any other of the Rockstar series is no.
It's too much.
Too much.
Grand Theft Auto is essentially Fast and the Furious, so we don't need a Grand Theft Auto.
I don't know that trailer for that last one. I was like, I don't even know what's going on anymore, but I want to watch this shit just because like it's so ridiculously out of control. But how about virtual reality? What if they can convert this in the next 10 to 15 to virtual reality? How would you guys feel about actually being immersed completely in the game?
Would I be able to feel getting a bath?
Yeah, right.
Because I would be like, oh yeah, you got to get under there. Oh,
Jesus, have you been waiting to do that for like the last half hour? I feel like you have.
I want to show everybody how flexible.
And also, why is your cam set up perfectly for you to do that? Have you been camming earlier?
Oh yeah, yeah, he was totally.
Holy shit!
The camera's still too close.
I'm so happy I'm not looking.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm about to shut down this podcast. All right. Is there anything else you guys?
That face.
Hey,
Is there anything else you guys want to add about this game? Yeah.
Fucking play it.
Yeah.
Just fucking play it.
Just
Nike
play
Just
it,
fucking
yeah.
play it.
Play the fucking game. Ethan, are you going to give it another shot?
I think I will.
I like how you
think I
said
will.
it like a nurse trying to give a patient medicine. Okay.
Okay, it's time for your dosage of Red Dead. Bend over.
So,
you,
sorry, good.
You want to do it?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you do it.
Let's
No,
do
you
the
do
thing.
it. No, you
There's
do it.
No, you do it.
No, you do it.
No, you
Okay,
do it.
I'll do it.
All right, what happened?
Do you know how to do it, Hobbs?
No.
He just showed you he did. Didn't you see him pulling the... Jesus Christ.
Gentlemen,
Jesus.
there's a thing we do for every single game we review here, and we rate it. So, we use the Sonic Adventure rating. S being the best, E being the worst. That's S, A, B, C, D, E.
Well, you're gonna have 2 S's right off the bat.
Javier,
Can you give S pluses?
Yeah.
fuck it, why not?
I like to give this game an SS.
Yeah.
Not for the
No, I
Third
was like,
Reich.
Oh, no,
Shouldn't stop.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
Not from the Third Reich or nothing. Like,
I give this X cubed. S cubed.
Yeah.
So, like, space
S
Nazis?
times S.
I give it a S and a T and a K for Sonic Tails and Knuckles.
Ethan, how about you? You've played it, so you can rate it.
It's a B.
Fuck
B.
you.
It might change if that might change if I go back through and play the story again, but if it can't hold my attention the first time through, that's a B. It's
All
good,
right.
not great.
Too thorough.
And I will give it a Duck wants to play it. I've been sold on this and Dead by Daylight recently, so I want to play both of those fucking games. I'm super excited. Yeah, with that said, we appreciate you listening to it. And this has been great, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is
Thank you
we can
very
just say
much.
this has been the We Are Podcast Network right here, because these are the 4 guys.
We are
right there.
podcast
So,
cast.
Yeah, it's badass. With that said, though, guys, I apologize, and I hate to do this to you because I love you guys, but I got to remind you of something.
Oh no,
This
You're
is
not-
so important.
no.
You guys,
don't fucking do it.
you ain't Billy Mitchell, bitch. So stop trying.
Just stop. Just
You might be Arthur
he
Ford.
truly is. He's the Morgan.
Morgan, my bad.
Fucking Arthur fucking Morgan.
I don't know his
Jesus
name.
Christ, we
I-
did fucking
Doug?
2 hours over this shit.
I don't know.
Duck.
But
You ain't Billy Mitchell.
I know I ain't Billy Mitchell, bitch. I gotta stop
Steve Weeby, motherfucker.
trying. We beat.
There it is, everyone. We really do appreciate you listening today. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. And if you enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Era, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi, talking pop culture and having so much fun. And don't forget Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distraction side quest. Me and the boys were sitting down, we're playing some D&D. Couldn't go to the beginning of that journey and check it out thus far. And finally, I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I'm going to sit down with some of my favorite people on this planet. We're going to talk about their lives. And don't forget to head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at /WeArePodcast. If you've enjoyed this today, please share with your friends. That's the only way we can grow this podcast channel. But I got one more thing I need you to remember. Please don't ever forget this. You ain't Billy Mitchell, bitch. So stop trying. We'll see you in the next one.